Hello, everybody. I'm Matt.
And I'm Maggie.
And we are
Hopefully Awesome.
That's right. A positive place on the internet where we nerd out about all the geeky things we love. And today's geeky things include the weekend box office, Indiana Jones 5, and Turner Classic Movies. Of all things.
Random.
I know, right? It's random because this is the Hopefully Awesome Show, our weekly podcast where Maggie and I recap all of the nerdy news from the previous week about movies, TV, and that's pretty much it. We usually also do a little review of something as well. Remember, if you'd like to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/hopefullyawesome, just like these folks did. For $5, you get exclusive content and your name in every video we do. It's a pretty good deal, if I say so myself. Mm-hmm. Coming in hot and fast, just like we always do. It's
fast
like
and furious.
The plane's like still about 400 feet above the air, but we're jumping out anyway. So we gotta go.
We're cutting the wire. We're cutting the wire to the bomb at the last second.
We did just finish our rewatch of Mission Impossible. Yeah, so we're a bit.
Yeah.
We're like, we gotta do it. Yeah. I want to run like Tom Cruise runs. Maggie,
I want to learn how he runs.
How's your day?
It's been good. Busy, but
it
doesn't matter.
It was a busy day.
Doesn't matter. Let's get into the news.
You know what? Wow. Just no foreplay. You just want to jump right in, huh?
No.
All right.
There's nothing to talk about.
It's great.
Happy 4th of July.
It's time for the news.
I ran out of breath. Oh. I'm sorry,
It's going
man.
great. It's going great.
I'm about like our kid today. Everything's going 90 miles an hour, and I can't pay attention. Good news, everyone.
There it is. Maggie, our first couple of things here.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh God.
I know.
It's dying.
First couple of things are just kind of, they're not really headlines, but it's just things we're going to touch on just like quick. So I guess it's kind of like headlines, but it's not really news stories. Twitter is dying again, maybe for the final time. Maybe not. Maybe we'll all still be there next month. Who the hell knows anymore?
Who knows anymore?
I will say this time it does feel a bit more final.
Yeah, because the servers aren't. They're like, hey, yeah, we need this information, and the information's not going there.
Yeah, well, it's like you're limited. So right now, if you are subscribed to Twitter Blue, you get 6,000 tweets a day that you can look at. If you're not, you get 600 tweets a day you can look at.
So stupid.
And new users are only getting 300 tweets a day.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's some bullshit. And like it maybe it's limited. Like we don't know. But yeah, they didn't pay like their Google Cloud bill or something, and so now they're just like
Excuse me.
But yeah, so I mean, that's kind of the thing, is like it's kind of hard to have a social network without letting people see the social
stuff.
networks.
Yeah, like if you like type in a keyword, you're gonna. I mean, like me, I try to figure out something.
Yeah. And
I'm scrolling through, and like it could be ate up in no time.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Or looking at comments on something popular.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the where I'm at right now, it looks like most everyone I follow has jumped over to Blue Sky. Blue Sky is, of course, from the one of the original Twitter founders, maybe the I don't know. I don't pay attention.
Oh, so he took his money and made another one?
Basically. But this one's like decentralized, which, listen, I'm not a techie guy. Like, I know some things, but like, I don't know this, right? So I guess in theory, there's not like one like hub where like all the information goes. It's like there's no centralized, it's decentralized, right? And so like everybody's on these like servers, and like each person is their own hub, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It's kind of like thinking about like a web in a way.
Yeah.
And like, each point on the web is a person.
Yeah.
And everybody's just connected in some way.
It's cutting out the middleman.
Yeah.
Like Office Max or Office Depot. Like, they cut the paper and they sell the paper. They don't need people to buy the paper from the factory and then sell it. That's what Michael Scott said anyway. So, yeah, anyway, that's
Staples.
that. You can't get into Blue Sky unless you have an invite code. So I'm begging you, please.
Really?
Please send me a
Really,
invite code.
people? We're back to the.
It's invite right now, Maggie. It's in beta.
Oh,
And I really need a code. If somebody wants to share, you get one every 2 weeks to give out.
Okay.
And Maggie, when I get mine, I'm going to give mine. I'll give mine.
Yeah.
And then I'll give my code to Hopefully Awesome's account. And then Hopefully Awesome will give their code to Hopefully Awesome Games. I'm joking. Obviously it'd go to you. Obviously it'd go to you. And then it would go to Hopefully Awesome or something. I don't know. But, the whole thing is just, apparently Blue Sky is literally just Twitter. Like it looks the exact same, works the exact same. Although people do say they're called skeets instead of tweets. Because Blue Sky. So it's like skeets.
No.
I mean, that's not actually what it's called, but that's just what people have started calling it.
Oh, don't.
I personally was a fan of Hive for like the, 4 days everybody used it.
Yeah, it was wild.
And then everybody left, and I was like, wow.
And then they're really trying to like get back on the train, I think, Hive is.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a couple of people. Like, I feel bad for them. But like, them having to like shut down
Maybe I should use it.
Maybe you should use Hive.
Yeah.
You could. Well, honestly, there was another one that I saw that's supposed to be coming out really soon.
Yeah.
Does kind of pique my interest a little bit. It's from it's tied to Instagram. And so it's their new, which don't get me wrong, it's still tied to Zuckerberg, and that's a whole other thing. But like you'll basically use your Instagram login, and you'll be able to find all the people you follow and that follow you on Instagram. So like immediately you'll have access to
everybody.
Yeah. But who the hell knows when that's coming?
Whenever that'll happen. I mean, Zuckerberg's got to fight Elon first, so.
In a cage match. I don't even want to get into that. So,
dude,
anything else you want to say about?
Have you seen a picture of him?
I saw him smoke some meads. That was about 5 years ago.
He's scary.
Is he jacked?
He's like toned. Like he's got some muscle to him now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Not like The Rock or anything.
Yeah.
But like you can tell he's been working out.
Is it like when Paul Rudd got jacked and we were all like, what the hell?
What happened to you? Yeah.
How? And then,
kinda, but it doesn't help him in the looks department. He's still, I'm sorry.
Jeez.
He still looks like a creep to me.
What a Zuck. All right, next story. Happy Barbenheimer month, everybody. That's right, Barbie and Oppenheimer are both releasing this month on the same day. Mm-hmm. Can't wait. Honestly, July looking like a bit of a banger. We got Mission Impossible in 2 weeks. We got Barbie and Oppenheimer in 3 weeks. And then this coming up week, we've got Joyride.
Yeah.
But yeah, Barbenheimer.
We ordered shirts.
We did. They're great. Just go to
Etsy.
I went on you.
Go to Etsy.
Go to Etsy. Just Google it. You'll find it. It's great. Honestly, there's a bunch of good ones. But yeah, I'm excited.
I am too.
There was actually pictures shared. So it started with Tom Cruise.
Yes.
I meant to grab these, but I forgot. Tom Cruise and Christopher McQuarrie, the director of Mission Impossible 7 Part 1, with tickets to see Barbie and Oppenheimer and Indiana Jones 5.
Yeah.
And then like the next day, Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig.
Yeah.
They had tickets to see Mission Impossible, Oppenheimer, and Indiana Jones 5.
Yeah.
But Chris Nolan and Cillian Murphy have not done anything yet. So I don't
not.
think they will. They're not going to. Nolan doesn't give a shit about, being there for the community. He's like, ooh, I made the best Batman movie ever existed. I don't have to fucking watch Barbie. And you know what? Maybe he's right. I don't know. I don't even know anymore.
He's not right.
Did he make the best Batman movie?
I don't know.
It's a hard yes. It is a hard yes. Maybe. I don't know. It's not. I feel like it's not been long enough for me to decide between the Batman and the Dark Knight. Because the Batman's really damn good.
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, the Dark Knight is also
let me some emo
perfect.
Batman.
The Dark Knight's also perfect.
I also did watch Batman Begins quite a few times. Because that was the only Batman movie I owned on DVD back in the day.
Batman Begins was great.
I loved
until
it.
The Dark Knight came out. And then it's like, oh, well.
And then I didn't really get to watch The Dark Knight.
Oh,
much.
man, Maggie, let me tell you. When I watched The Dark Knight, they played the teaser for Watchmen, and I was like, what the hell is this? Why is there a naked blue dude walking out?
Snyder.
It was. I think that was maybe my first taste of Snyder, maybe. I mean, I know he did like 300 and stuff before that.
I watched 300. I think that was my first Zack Snyder experience.
Oh, wait, no, I went and watched Dawn of the Dead in theaters. Yeah. But no, I wasn't a big fan of 300.
I liked it.
Story number
like my dad.
1. Welcome to the weekend box office report, brought to you by Box Office Mojo. I almost said Watch Mojo. That's a YouTube channel. There it is. Maggie.
From Mojo.com. Here's the top 10 countdown list of top superheroes.
Was that was it?
That's what they do.
Do you remember when the guy that played Peter Parker, Tom Holland,
Yeah.
Jacob,
Yeah.
when they were like, "Oh my God, you're the lady from Watch Mojo."
Yeah. All right, Matt.
If I was her, I'd get that set as my ringtone or something.
Okay.
They're like, "Do the thing."
Watch Mojo.
I like how I couldn't remember Tom Holland's name, but I remembered Jacob's name. Just boom. He's the best. He's magic.
It's okay.
Would you watch a Ned is Magic movie? Magic Ned.
Not really.
Yes, you would.
Mm.
If an MCU movie came out and it was about Ned being a sorcerer, going off to sorcerer school.
He's forgotten, though.
No, they remember that they helped Spider-Man. They just don't remember who Spider-Man is. They didn't rewrite history. They just kind of blurred. It's like one of those things where it's like they start to remember. It's like when Glory in Buffy, right, was also that dude. And there was a spell, and anytime anybody remembered that they were the same dude, they immediately forgot. And so the spell started wearing off, and Spike was like, "Yeah, Glory is Ben." And they're like, "Wait, Glory is Ben?
Ben is Glory.
No, that's crazy." And they're like, "Oh, but no, you're right. What if Ben is Glory?" Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But who is Glory? And they just kept doing that over and over and over. It was great. It's fantastic. Anyway, none of that has anything to do with the box office weekend report. In at number 1 this week, Maggie, you want to take a guess? Number 1.
Oh, God. Spider-Man.
I mean,
my brain goes blank at these, man.
We're reviewing a movie, right?
Yeah, but I didn't think it made enough.
No, I mean, it didn't do great, but I mean, it was number 1.
Indiana Jones.
Obviously, it was number 1. God, no, that would, Maggie. Okay, listen. If Spider-Verse beat Indiana Jones, Spider-Verse being in its 4th week,
yeah,
and Indiana Jones being the opening weekend, that would be a disaster.
Okay.
That would be insane.
It's just the way you was talking about it earlier.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It is a disaster, but
I was like, okay, I guess it's not number 1.
It's this is a flood, and a disaster on the level of a flood. And if that was to happen, it would be a disaster on the level of a nuclear bomb going off. Okay,
Oppenheimer's coming.
Yes, exactly. So, in at number 1, and all these are going to be domestic numbers unless otherwise noted. But Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny made $60 million opening weekend. We really need that soundboard. That. It also made $130 million globally. Total, all in. Not great, honestly.
No.
For reportedly cost $295 million to make before marketing, $300 million movie. For comparison, Crystal Skull opened to $100 million domestic and went on to gross $317 million domestic in theaters.
Yeah.
So it did 60% of what Crystal Skull did. I
feel like they marketed the crap out of Crystal Skull too.
I feel like they marketed the crap out of this.
I think so too, but I owned a whole entire magazine about Crystal Skull.
Well, I mean, that was 2008.
Also had a full
2008
page layout of David Beckham half naked.
But so I mean, like print is a much different story now.
Yeah,
you know, like so I mean, I wouldn't necessarily compare it to that, but I feel like we don't see ads ever, and I feel like I've seen this everywhere.
I've seen it on Twitter like crazy.
Yeah,
like
so I mean, like I feel like it was pretty heavily marketed. I don't know. That's just not the hopes they were looking for. You know,
no.
And I don't know if that's just due to like, I don't know, just people not being interested in the new Indiana Jones. I mean, it is a very old property at this point.
It is.
Like, I mean, you know, when we went and watched it, no judgment or anything. We did go early on a Sunday, so I mean,
yeah,
that could be why, but it was nothing but like
older
40 plus at least, if not 60 plus. Like, no one our age was in there, and definitely no one younger.
Hardly.
Yeah, maybe one.
Yeah.
But again, it was like 11 o'clock on a Sunday. So, I mean, you know, that could also be why.
The movie theaters are church on Sunday.
The projector, the popcorn, and the holy gumdrops.
I was to say the holy... and the holy icy.
Coke.
The holy icy.
And the holy cokes. Good. It almost sounds like... Anyway. All right.
Ha 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 ha.
That is... Now, just to also put this in more perspective, of course, opened to 60 million domestic, 130 million global. The Flash opening, which was also looked at as a huge disaster, made 70 million its opening weekend and 139 million globally. So it's lower than the Flash. Listen, we're going to talk about it later. No spoilers right now. But it deserves more than this.
It does.
Like, it's really good.
It does.
Like,
if you're a true Indiana Jones fan, yes, it does.
We'll give our full thoughts, obviously.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm kind of surprised that this did as low as it did.
Yeah. Kind of sad.
I wonder if this is another one of those Disney Plus scenarios where, like, everybody's just, they know that it's going to hit Disney Plus at some point. So, like,
I think that's what it is. I think that's what a lot of the problem is now, is that everybody's just waiting. Because used to, like, way back in the 90s, you know, you'd have to wait in the 90s, like what, 6 to 12 months for it to be out on VHS.
I remember Jurassic Park was in theaters for like 4.5 years or something. Something insane.
It wasn't
like
not that long.
I remember going to my senior prom when I finally got to watch Jurassic Park at home. I'm joking. It probably wasn't that long.
Stop.
But I do remember Toy Story specifically. This is the only one that I can really remember.
Yeah.
Hit theaters on Thanksgiving Day or Thanksgiving weekend. And when they were advertising it for home video, it was advertised with like a Halloween theme.
Yeah.
And like they used the shot where like it shows Scud. What the fuck is his name?
Sid.
Yeah, Sid. Yeah. His shirt, the skull, and like it like zooms in through it, you know, it's like you know, and they were like, "Oh, the Toy Story is coming home."
Yeah,
I don't know. So I mean, that's a year.
Yeah,
I mean,
I used to like, especially with Mulan, wherever they like announced everything.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, it's coming out this way, and then I'd be counting the months on my fingers. I'm like, okay, it could possibly come out.
Yeah,
on this month, or maybe
because you'd get the theatrical run, then second run.
Yeah,
that's the second run theaters, you know, where they get the cheaper version. And then I feel like pay-per-view would get it, like premium services.
I think so, yeah.
And then finally it would hit video.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, we were way down on the chain.
And then like whenever DVDs started happening, it was a little bit shorter.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like what, 3-4 months out?
Yeah. I mean, it really depends on like all the stuff with like the theaters and stuff, obviously. And I mean, especially now with everything that they changed in 2020, it's been a whole
streaming's
thing,
jacked it up bad.
Yeah, which I don't know.
Understand. I mean, we have a kid. We understand streaming is easier, especially when you have a little one. You don't have to worry about them picking up some foreign object off the floor and putting it in their mouths. Like, I get it, but then at the same time, I'm like, man, some of these movies are not really getting the respect that they need.
Yeah. It's tough because like we're fans of movies, but like we're also consumers, and like streaming is very pro-consumer.
Yeah,
because like we pay a flat fee, we get it whenever we want, we can pause. Like it's very just pro-consumer. Right? Yeah. But if we don't support the movies to make all the money, then they kind of don't make them. Yeah. You know. But I mean, at the same time, like maybe shrink those budgets a little bit. I mean, like, did this movie need to cost $300 million? I would argue probably not.
They said probably with inflation, not. Matt. Inflation.
I mean, it's current day.
I'm joking. That's what some idiot would say, Matt.
Like, I think one way you could save some of that budget, and call me crazy, but I think maybe if like instead of doing CGI young Indiana Jones, just maybe cast a real person to play young Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I'd probably save a couple $100.
Well, let's just save that for later.
I don't know. I mean, it's in the trailers and stuff. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying like that to me. I don't know. I feel like that's a bigger conversation.
Save it.
But I mean, a couple $100 it could have saved. That's all I'm saying.
$100?
Yeah, that was the joke.
I don't know about that.
All right, it had number 2 was Spider-Verse with 11.5 million. Last week, Spider-Verse was at number 1.
Yeah.
And so obviously dropped down to the number 2 slot since Indiana Jones came out. Mm-hmm. Spider-Verse has now earned over 600 million worldwide.
God.
And is now Sony Animation's highest grossing film ever. Period. Highest grossing Sony animated movie ever.
Yep. Good on them.
Trying to think of literally any other Sony animated movies.
Hotel Transylvania.
Norm of the North.
No. That was something Sky Entertainment.
Wait, didn't they do the Emoji Movie?
Sony?
I don't know. They probably did a bunch of garbage.
I really don't want to look it up because I can't stand.
Did they do Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
Sony did, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I mean, there you go.
Because Lord and Miller.
Our Lord Miller.
Lord and Miller did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Number 3, Elemental. Pixar's
Still
Elemental holding strong. Was number 2 last week. Earned 11.3 million this week. At number 4, remaining at number 4, was 4 last week and still at number 4. No Hard Feelings. The R-rated comedy, is 7.5 million this weekend. At number 5, remaining at number 5, was Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Hey, you're holding strong.
Got
Beast.
$7 million more. Surprising. Not gonna lie. Like, I'm surprised it's still doing good.
Those little popcorn trucks have gone.
Yeah. I mean, like, I wouldn't say it's doing good. Honestly, everybody's like, this is a very low weekend box office. Like, these numbers are shit, basically. Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's been for the past 3 years, but it's not great. At number 6, and this one's kind of sucks. It premieres this weekend at number 6. Ruby Gilman, Teenage Kraken.
Oh, that's DreamWorks' new baby.
Yeah, it only earned 5.2 million and is the worst opening of any DreamWorks film. Period.
What? It didn't. Wow, that means
Flushed Away made more.
And well, my favorite, and I think it's underappreciated. It's a DreamWorks. They tried to make it into a big thing like Shrek. It was the Guardians
of Ghoul.
No,
the owl movie.
Not the frickin' owls, man. It was about like Jack Frost, Santa, Easter Bunny.
Oh yeah,
Tooth Fairy.
You've tried to convince me that that's good.
It's still good. We watched it. We showed it to the kindergartners and stuff, and everybody enjoyed it.
What do 5-year-olds know?
There's some 5-year-olds that have better taste than some people.
When I was 5, I'd watch just any garbage. Like, it didn't matter. I was 5.
Like we showed as dinner and a movie.
Yeah.
And a lot of the kids, like older kids, were coming out. They're like, I really like that movie. I was like, I'm proud of myself.
Well, there you go.
That out.
At number 7, remaining at number 7, was The Little Mermaid.
Hey.
5.15 million. Have you noticed anything missing yet?
The Flash.
At number 8, dropping from the
I
number.
already realized that. I was like, number 5. I was like, he's down.
Dropping from the number 3 slot last weekend. The Flash made $5 million this weekend, and this is terrible. Has not crossed $100 million at the domestic box office yet.
Probably won't.
Has not even crossed. Well, no, it's at like 99.
Oh, okay.
Something.
So
Yeah,
it will happen.
it will, but just, I mean, this is what, its 3rd week?
Yes.
I think. It hasn't even crossed 100 million.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. A Michael Keaton Batman movie.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's what they promoted it as.
It's insane. It's crazy. What a world. Number 9, dropping from the number 6 slot, was Asteroid City, making 3.8 million. Which is, I mean,
hey,
that's it's Wes Anderson,
yeah. Man.
I mean, it's doing probably better than any of his other movies. At number 10,
back off on him.
Ed at number 10, dropping from the 8 slot, was Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which closed at a number $1.8 million. But no, I mean, dude, this thing's on digital, or like getting ready to be.
Getting ready.
Like in like a week or two. It's the 2nd month, so like either the 8th or 9th weekend. Like the fact that it even cracked the top 10 is insane. And the fact that it's only 2 slots less than The Flash, which came out 3 weeks ago, is like, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's wild. The box office right now, it's crazy.
It's crazy, man. That's so crazy.
Good job.
So crazy.
Any thoughts about box office? I know we kind of talked about it. Next week, of course, Joyride drops. That's really the biggest one that we're going to get.
Yeah.
I think it's another R-rated comedy.
It is.
So I could see it. It'll probably, honestly,
a trailer popped up on my Twitter feed, and I was just like, man, I hope Matt's ready for this, because it's some things they were doing. I was just like, whoo, it's been a minute since we've watched one of these.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
I could see probably No Hard Feelings will drop out of the top 5. This will probably take its slot. I would say I could see it hitting number 3, maybe. I mean, I guess I'm probably giving it too high hopes. I mean, these movies don't tend to perform too well.
No.
So maybe I could see it being top 4. But also at the same time, I don't know. It depends on how well Elemental holds on. If Elemental holds strong, then I think it'll hit number 4. If it doesn't, if it's starting to teeter off some, then I think it could hit number 3. And Indiana Jones will probably drop to number 2. Maybe. I mean, if Spider-Verse, it's been killing it, you know? Yeah. Although that means Indiana Jones it'd have to drop from 60 to 10 million.
I don't think
but
so.
the critics are just slamming it, Maggie. Like the critics are saying
critics have
awful.
no heart or souls. Like,
do you think that's the problem?
I think so. I don't think they go to the movie to have fun. They have fun chopping it apart.
We'll dive more into that.
Okay.
When we do our review. Next story. Via. This one's fun because it's just fun to shit on
my
David
favorite
Zaslav.
time watching this channel right here was during Oscars, because they'd show all the Oscar winners or things that were nominated for it.
Yeah.
Learn history right there.
Exactly. That's the point. That's the point. That's actually.
And also, I like when they would have like certain, like they would have Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers movies showing, and Frank Sinatra movies. Like they would have an Elvis weekend. Like, yeah,
He was a cool kid.
I was so cool. I'm a nerd.
Hey, you know who else is a nerd? Steven Spielberg.
Hey!
Martin Scorsese.
Oh.
And Paul Thomas Anderson.
I don't know who that is.
He made the Resident Evil movies. I'm joking.
I was like, I'm
joking. I think if I'm remembering correctly, he did American Beauty. If I'm thinking of the right guy, I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong there.
Oh God, I bet that's a horrible movie to watch now.
Oh yeah, there's no way that movie holds up. There's no way. No. So via Entertainment Weekly, Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, and Paul Thomas Anderson step in to help save Turner Classic Movies. The trio placed an emergency call to Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav last week, following cuts to the majority of the network's leadership, including Senior VP of Programming and Content Strategy Charles Tebesh.
What the flip, man?
Tabesh, however, will return to TCM with Scorsese, Spielberg, and Anderson acting as unpaid volunteers who will help guide.
It makes sense.
Who will help guide and curate. I lost my spot. Who will help guide and curate the network's programming, even including hosts' intros and outros for films. TCM's Classic Film Festival will also continue. Quote, we have already begun working on ideas with Warner Brothers executives, Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abney. We remember them from our DC talks. Both true film enthusiasts who share a passion and reverence for classic cinema. That is the hallmark of the TCM community, the director said in a joint statement. This unique agreement, initiated by David Zaslav, reflects his commitment to honoring TCM legacy while also involving us on curation and programming. The statement continued. We are thrilled that longtime programmer Charlie Tabesh will be staying with TCM and gratified to know that the team is focused on preserving TCM's mission of celebrating our rich movie history while at the same time ensuring the future generations of filmmakers and film lovers have TCM as a valuable resource. End quote. So, this didn't really go into it, but if you've been paying attention, basically David Zaslav's taking the fatted calf of Warner Brothers and is like, chopping it up and selling it for pieces, right?
Yeah.
And so they decided to gut Turner Classic Movies. They cut its budget by like a third, and then they fired the content person, and like they cut the staff, I think, by like 80% or something. Like it was dead. Like it was dying. Okay. They were just like, we're keeping it up until we figure out what to do with the space on cable, basically. And so when Steven Spielberg and Martin Scorsese heard that, and I guess Paul Thomas Anderson, they're like, what the fuck is this shit?
Because if you're somebody that lives in an area that doesn't have good internet.
Yeah.
But you could get cable. Because no, just hear me out here. Because I grew up in an area we couldn't get cable, but we could get satellite, but we didn't have fast internet. We couldn't get broadband. We couldn't get I remember at one point we had a Verizon internet stick. An antenna worked off a cell phone signal. It was horrible.
Oh Jesus.
Anyways, so in areas like that, you either depend on your TV antenna, which we did for years before we did get a satellite dish.
Yeah.
And we put it in downstairs. And like some people, they depend on those channels,
Yeah.
Like that's all they get. Like you can't find half the movies that play on Turner Classic Movies. You can't find.
Yeah.
Like
they're not available just to
or to buy.
Somebody. Yeah.
Like they haven't even released them or anything.
Like Mario Brothers. The original Mario Brothers.
Yes, that'd be a Turner Classic Movie, Matt.
Martin Scorsese introduces the Super Mario Brothers movie.
But
this is Big Bertha.
The point I'm getting at is, I'd sit on the couch hours on end during a weekend and watch all these old movies. And I remember watching The 7-Year Itch with Marilyn Monroe and realizing, holy crap, she's awesome. Yeah. And this is a great movie.
Yeah.
And that was like my only way of knowing those things. And some people are still like that because they don't have fast internet to do streaming or anything. And so they rely on their cable company or maybe their Verizon stick with the antenna in the window. But yeah, I mean, it's crap, because people do still enjoy cable.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, you're absolutely right, Maggie. I think that another piece of it is just the curation of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to have access to unlimited movies, right? Like, it's one thing, like, we have Netflix. God knows how many hundreds of thousands of movies is on that, right? But to be able to sift through all that, not only find something to watch. But to find something of value to watch, right? Something that has educational value as far as from like a filmmaking standpoint, especially like those diamonds in the roughs, right? Like you wouldn't necessarily think to go watch whatever, right? The 7-Year Itch. Yeah. I mean, I'm just throwing that out.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely that aspect of it. that it's important for that. It's the same reason that like the Video Game Preservation Society, like that's important because like once that's gone, like
It's
these are just gone. You
It's
know,
gone.
the Smithsonian, how they like will put films on like the to preserve them. You know, the Criterion Collection, like
And
all these things. You know,
the Library of Congress, how they put certain books or
Digimon the
movies.
movie, Digimon animated films can be found on there.
Yeah, and this is one way just for the public.
Yeah,
like, hey, you can see some movies that you've never seen, or you could see a favorite that you can't find anywhere else.
Yeah, it's definitely.
And I know Max. Sorry,
no,
and I know
you're good.
Max has a lot of the old movies on there, but like there might be some that you're looking for, but they don't have it.
Yeah.
And usually they're playing it.
yeah. And I mean, you know, it's definitely, it's more of a public service than like something you're going to make money on.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's why, I mean, at this point, that's how they're looking at it. And that's obviously why David Zaslav was like, cutting that shit out.
Yeah.
You know, we got to make
like,
money.
you get it the out here
We're
right
gonna
now.
throw Guy Fieri on there instead to make $20. Which would probably still be more than what they were making before that. But you know, I do think that it's funny because like it says here that they called an emergency meeting with David Zaslav, and I wish I could have just like been on that phone call.
I bet
just to
Steven
hear.
Spielberg was like very calm, and the other dude too. And then Martin Scorsese is like, "You better keep Turner classic movies."
I think they were all probably very much like, "Hey, if you ever want us to work with Warner Brothers again, you're gonna keep this."
Ever again.
Like I mean, I doubt they were like, you know, mobsters about it or anything, but like I do think that there was some a bit of negotiating. Like, hey, we're like at least two of the three most prominent directors in cinema history, right? You know, we have a lot of pull around here. Yeah. Maybe you might want to keep Turner Classic Movies around.
I mean, he had already pissed off a bunch of them to begin with.
Oh yeah.
Whenever he did acquire it, so
did you hear about what he did with Nolan to try and fix that whole fiasco with Nolan?
No.
So like, you know, the whole day and date with theater and streaming stuff, right? Like Christopher Nolan hated that, and like they still released the movie in theaters, the Tenet, and like it didn't do well and all this, and then they said that they were going to do everything day and date, and he was like, I won't make another movie with Warner Brothers. Yeah. And so that's why Oppenheimer is coming out with Universal.
Yeah.
All right, it's not Warner Brothers. So he gave, I forget exactly what he did, but he gave Christopher Nolan like $25 million, like in good faith, to like welcome him back, and like promised him all these things, like, I don't know, like residuals and stuff. Like, I don't even know. But he's like, he was really trying hard to fix that relationship. So I don't know.
I hope he took the money and ran.
Zaslav is just, I don't know, man. He's figuring it out. I mean, what do you expect from the guy that, you know, was running Discovery? You know, like that's the thing. This dude knew Food Network. You know, Discovery.
Like he's ran Discovery. I'm trying to get my brain going.
Yeah.
Sorry. And like most Discovery stuff is like, you know,
Shark Week.
Like talking about, like, you have documentary of stuff, you know.
Yeah. Educational.
This is
Maggie, what you're forgetting, right, is money, right? Shark Week is cheap. These are,
I don't know if it's cheap or not
compared to holding the rights to like Citizen Kane or something. Like, you know, I'm playing it for 12 people on cable. You know what I mean?
You know what? I'm going to download the Turner Classic Movies.
I mean, we could. I mean, now that we got these, you know, these fucks curating it for us, it might actually be worth watching. You know?
It might be.
But yeah, there was another story. I didn't include it in here, but they also, David Zaslav has sold off some of HBO's original programming to Netflix. So
yeah. What did he sell?
He sold oh god, what is it?
Laugh of His Sex and the City.
I don't think that one yet, but it's I can't think of it. She was in that movie with Kumail Nanjiani, They were like a couple, and then they were like wanted for murder or something.
Oh, not Tiffany Haddish. Issa Rae.
Is that her?
Yes, because she's President Barbie.
Yeah, so it's her movie or her show, her series can now be watched on Netflix, and then in the coming days, Band of Brothers and the other one, The Pacific, are both going to be on there, and they've optioned True Blood to Hulu.
Oh, hey, if you hear pops that's on our end, stupid neighbors that set off fireworks right now.
Yeah,
this is like what fourth night in a row of fireworks. Anyways, they sold.
Well, so it's not basically they optioned it as a non-exclusive deal, so like those can show up on Netflix, but they're also still available on HBO.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Because he wants money. That's the whole thing.
I've got to cover this debt.
Save it. Yeah, basically. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
He's not exactly the dad from Succession, but
no, he's more like I don't even know.
I don't think he's anybody from Succession, but like it's just like when the kids found out that like the dad was like so much in debt, whatever. That they're like, why didn't you tell us that? We could be in helping you.
You'll probably be able to watch Succession on like ABC Family here soon. So, all right, moving on.
It's not called ABC Family anymore.
Freeform, whatever the hell it's called. Who gives a shit?
Hi, Matt.
Oh, Matt Murdock. I thought he was talking to me for a second. So these are our headlines. So these are much quicker. Via Culture Crave, Daredevil stuntman Chris Brewster the Rooster says Disney didn't bring back any crew members from the Netflix series. They truly don't want to be anything like the Netflix show. They're making a big mistake. I almost said mistake.
Mistake.
Yeah, I'll take a mixed steak and a large fry. What would a mixed steak be like?
I don't want to know.
Would it be
I already know in Italy they have a bucket of chicken at McDonald's.
Would it be on a sandwich, you think? Like a McRib is a sandwich?
Yeah, it'd be mixed steak.
So maybe like
covered in gravy.
I bet it'd be like a steak sandwich, like how you
yeah, the Philly steak.
Yeah, that's what it'd be. It'd just be a Philly cheesesteak, but it'd be called a mixed steak, and it'd be a huge mistake.
Oh God!
To miss out on the mixed steak. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I'm loving it.
Good job. So yeah, they didn't bring anybody back from Netflix. What do you think? Is it a big mixed steak?
I don't know, man. I mean,
we don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. If they're wanting to do something completely different, then I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I get it too.
And I mean, like, if the show was a huge success, then it would. And I know that there's other things that in a factor here. Mm-hmm. Okay, I get it. I know that, Netflix had it and they wanted to get everything on Disney. I get all of that. I understand. But if the show was making $1 billion a season, right? If it was a huge success,
God,
it would still be on. Okay. So I mean it wasn't a big enough success to warrant outweighing letting it die. No. Okay. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's like if they're wanting to do something completely different.
Yeah, if it was so great to begin with, why isn't it still on? And
sometimes things need a completely different creative hook. I mean, Thor didn't get good until Ragnarok, and that was a complete shift.
Dark World, fall asleep every time.
Oh, yeah.
Every time.
And even like Civil War, you compare it to the previous two Avengers movies. Like, once we got rid of Joss Whedon, which I used to like, and now he sucks ass apparently. We got Civil War and then Infinity War, and sometimes you just need new blood. I don't know. I mean, they kept Matt. That's kind of all I care about, to be honest. And
D'Onofrio.
Yeah, and Wilson Fisk. No Karen or Foggy just yet, and that could change.
I say they want to.
Yeah, bring back Jon Favreau as Foggy from the Ben Affleck movie.
Is this a multiverse?
Yes. Yes, it is.
God, man. What a wild movie.
Can't wait for Secret Wars.
Yeah! Chronicles of Narnia.
It's the Chronic What
Baby.
Cools in Narnia. It's the Chronic What Cools in Narnia. We love that Chronic What Cools in Narnia. Remember that from 2006?
No.
Via Culture Crave. No, I'm sorry. Let's read the Daredevil one again.
I had to
Via
look at all the pictures, sorry.
disgusting film. The McNasty disgusting film.
Oh my god.
Greta
Matt.
Gerwig, the director of Barbie and Little Women and
Lady Bird,
will direct at least 2 Chronicles of Narnia films for Netflix. Whoop whoop.
I think they need a little bit of finesse.
Do you think we not age it up, but maybe like shift timeline?
I'm sorry. That was really close to the house.
Yeah. Watch our house like fucking catch fire or something.
No, don't say that.
I mean, knock on wood. Sorry.
Don't say that.
You know. Anyway, do you think they'll like change the time period? Like, is that part of the charm of Narnia? I don't know.
Well, okay. In the book, and Jerry in chat probably remembers this. 7th grade, Mr. Bowles' English class. We had to read this, but not only read it, we had to act it out.
God, what?
Yeah. Like, we took turns about acting it out. Anyways, this is the only way he could keep us awake and himself awake.
Which character did you play?
I got to play the witch at one point, and then I think maybe
That tracks.
Lucy. I think maybe
Who's Lucy?
she's the youngest sister.
Oh,
She's the one that meets Mr. Tumnus, or AKA Charles Xavier.
which one? Which one was the one that like ate all the chocolate and fucked everybody over?
Oh, that was Edmund.
Edmund.
Yeah, he ate all the Turkish delight.
That little fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, I hated him.
Yeah, Edmund.
But
I want to watch a movie that has Edmund, Big D, and that blonde fuck from Game of Thrones.
Okay.
I want them to be like in like a Saw movie, and they all die because they're all the worst.
Okay. Anyways, the reason why it was wrote with the kids like this is because it was during World War II, and during World War II, British parents sent their kids over to the countryside so they can be safe during the bombings.
Yeah.
And so that's why the kids.
Child, I slipped through the blitz.
So that's why the kids are sent to that house, is because World War II is going on.
Yeah.
And like, I remember I really liked reading the books.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember where I got stuck. I stopped at. I think maybe the Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I didn't read
the damn trader.
the book about the ship.
Didn't Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe come out after? Like, didn't they get the book series in the wrong order?
No. This one came out first.
No, I mean, I know the movie came out first, but I mean, like, the book series. I feel like somebody told me, like, Prince Caspian came first or something.
If you...
I'll look it up while you're talking about this, because I don't know enough about
specific. I don't know. Anyways, which, I mean, the underlining thing is that Aslan is God, so, I mean...
For Aslan.
I bet Greta Gerwig.
It did not. Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe came out first.
Yeah.
And then Prince Caspian.
Yes.
Voyage of the Dawn Treader. They went in order. So that fucking lady at McDonald's was lying to me.
I read The Magician's Nephew.
It really was a lady at McDonald's.
Wow. She doesn't know her crap.
I just love. Like, can I please just have my McSteak sandwich, please? I want to go.
I read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I read Prince Caspian. I remember reading The Magician's Nephew, but I didn't read Dawn Treader, Silver Chair, or The Horse and His Boy.
The Horse and His Boy.
Or
The Last
Battle. Yeah. So, yeah. But I always enjoyed The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Can I just say, I'm just going to say it.
Oh, no.
Chronicles of Narnia sucks ass.
Oh boy.
I was bored. Not like, okay, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. As a kid that grew up going to church and like a Christian school and blah blah, which don't get me started. Like, you know, Jesus line and shit, like that was cool, right? But past that,
that's
like,
Liam Neeson.
Like, who gives a shit? You know, like it's basically Peter Pan, but with Jesus. Like, that just sounds awful. You know? It's like if Lord of the Rings, the Bible, and Peter Pan had a baby. All right? If they did 3 men and a baby to it. Like, that's Narnia. All right? Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay.
Wasn't this person, weren't they friends with Tolkien? Weren't they buddies in the war or some shit?
Probably. I could very much see that. But at least he
sure
didn't. I don't think he went as far as making a new language.
Oh,
I don't think so. All I know is that
bunch of fucking nerds. God,
lay off us, okay?
At least Gene Roddenberry didn't create Klingon. Somebody else made it for him.
Jerry Anna said, Aslan is the Lord. and she said, I didn't read any other books or watch the other movies. I watched...
Good on you.
I think...
They sucked.
I remember watching Prince Caspian because I was like, I really want to know what happens, you know?
Snoresville.
Like what it looks like.
The movie was terrible.
I think Jerry Anna says I think they were buddies, this author.
Tolkien and him. There you go.
I agree. But I don't know. Like, it was just so long ago.
Yeah.
Like, whenever they made those movies and just like looking back on them. I don't know. I bet the graphics look like crap.
Especially the further on they got. Because they tried to keep it as... I want to say they tried to make it like in camera as much as possible.
Yeah.
You know, for the first one.
Yes.
And then the rest of them, they're like, let's CGI everything.
VFX.
And like, I didn't understand how like pirates... Like, Narnia is just weird. Like you got
There's
these
talking
kids.
beavers.
Besides the talking beavers, okay? Like, you got these kids that go and then, like, Jesus line, and then, you know, he gets crucified and they shave his beard and shit, right? And then he comes back to life. And they're like, Edmund, I'm here. And then, like, they fight Satan, whatever. They come back home, right? And, like, no time has passed or whatever. You know, it's your classic kids' time displacement story, right?
Yeah.
And then we, like, skip 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I don't even know.
No, it's hundreds of years.
Oh, no, I'm talking about in the movie.
Oh,
like the kids, they age up like 2 or 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Or 5. Who the hell knows? And then they go back to Narnia through like a subway train, and it's been like 400 years.
Yes.
And like these
I'm not even
like
sure that happened with the actual book.
Like these pirates like landed in Narnia a long time ago, and like before the kids were born. These pirates ended up in Narnia, but they ended up past the time of the kids being there.
Yeah, Prince Caspian looks at him. He's like, "You showed up at the wrong time."
It's just so stupid. And then then the third one comes out, and it's like, well, Prince Caspian is still here, and he's the same age, so not a lot of time has passed. And there's a mouse, and it's like the flood or something. I don't know. It became VeggieTales at some point. I don't know. So Greta Gerwig's directing 2 of these fucking movies.
I'm interested.
Will it be good
to see?
I mean, Greta Gerwig does really good. Is that Cops or is that Fireworks? Do you want to go check?
Oh, it's Fireworks.
Okay, I was like,
it's those freaking fireworks to make the sound.
Wow.
I was afraid it was sirens.
That's what I was saying. Like,
I was like, oh God, is somebody's house on fire?
That's what I was saying. I don't know, Maggie.
Freaking idiots.
Anything else? Anything else you want to say about Narnia?
No.
Via discussing film.
Ah!
God. He's coming to get you, Maggie.
Oh God.
Everybody's doing the grimace challenge. They should have been doing the Barney
challenge.
Daniel Kaluuya's Barney movie. He's making a Barney movie.
This is crazy.
Is described as surrealistic, similar to the work of Charlie Kaufman and Spike Jonze. The film is being sold as an A24 top that will be really a play for adults.
In other words, millennials that grew up watching the Purple Dinosaur.
And like, I don't think it's gonna be like a horror movie. I don't think they're talking like A24 like Hereditary or something, or Midsummer.
it's just gonna be unsettling.
I don't even think it's that. A24 they do artsy stuff too.
Oh, I know.
Like, it's not just horror.
I don't know, but I think it's still gonna be weird.
I think it'll be weird, but I don't think it's going to be a horror movie in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
I think it's going to be like the last. Oh my gosh, I think it's called The Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Oh yeah, we wanted to watch that.
Yeah, so I mean, like, they do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like it'll be like highbrow art.
Yeah.
Movie about Barney.
Not Death to Smoochie.
Definitely not. Thank God. And I don't think it'll be, I'm not sensing any like Jordan Peele-ness to this. I could see it being like a remake of Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah.
But it's Barney instead of Fred. Oh my God. Would you watch that?
I'd try.
No panties.
I didn't watch Drop Dead Fred.
Oh, Maggie,
you did.
Maggie. Terrible fucking it was awful. It was awful. Like, we watched a movie yesterday and today that was garbage.
Pure absolute
trash
on fire.
And I cannot tell you that I believe Drop Dead Fred is worse than that movie that we watched. So, like, in my brain, that's how I feel. I can't prove it, but that's how I feel.
I'm kind of interested to watch this. I grew up as a Barney fan. I had a shirt. I had shoes. I had a necklace that had glitter.
Loser.
I was in kindergarten.
Fucking loser. Dorks.
I even had a Barney movie.
I hated Barney.
Oh, yeah, because it came out, like, at the wrong time for you.
No, I mean, like, I remember being, like, 5 or 6 and, like, Barney being out. And, like, my brother's like, oh, you like Barney? I was like, I don't fucking like Barney. I mean, I didn't say that as a 5 or 6-year-old, but...
Because your dad would have
I was like, I want to watch Saved by the Bell. Watch Kelly Kapowski make out with Zach.
I watched Saved by the Bell.
I just wasn't into Barney. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't like kids shows, where like they talk to you like you're a fucking child.
Yeah.
Like, talk to me like the grown ass 6-year-old that I am. Blue.
You wasn't as
the fucking
cool
clue was over there. Shit.
Hey.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. They talked to me good. They talked to me like I was real. That's what I was saying. If you was listening,
imagination.
If you was listening to me, you would have known exactly what I was saying, Maggie. But you weren't listening. You were just thinking of your own next line to say.
Because Jeriana said you wasn't as cool as us.
That's right. I was cooler. Good God, that's so loud. All right.
But no, I'm interested to see it. So, and I wanted to watch that documentary about Barney.
Is there a Barney documentary?
Mm-hmm. Remember whenever we went on our honeymoon and we went to Universal Studios and there was a Barney fountain and I took a picture of it?
Yes, I do remember that.
It's gone now.
I also remember E.T. the Ride.
Oh yeah, that was right near it.
And that was
hard times.
That was just terrible.
That was hard times.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say about Barney?
No.
All right, everybody, here we are. Jesus. Those fireworks are just so loud.
Yeah.
We should call this the fireworks episode.
It's a fireworks episode.
Well, I meant like...
It's the fireworks episode.
No, I meant like in the title or something.
Indiana Jones is fireworks.
Anyway, all right, everybody, listen. Here's the deal. So we're going to talk Indiana Jones 5 here in just a second. Once we do, we will be non-spoilers. If this is your first time watching us, just know that we will not be spoiling the movie until we get into spoilers, and you will know exactly when we get into spoilers because you will hear this sound, and the screen will look like that. Once we are done with spoilers, we will go back to that screen, letting you know that the spoilers are over, And we will then rejoin to talk about our ranking of the summer 2023 so far. So be sure and stick with us to hear about Indiana Jones 5. If you've watched the film, then hang out for spoilers. If you haven't and you don't care to be spoiled, then keep hanging out. If not, then just join us
if
after
you're
it's
just
done.
crazy and just like to be spoiled.
It's true. A lot of people do. So, I mean, apparently a lot of people don't give a shit about Indiana Jones. I mean, you know, here we go. It's going to be a big episode. You ready?
Right.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny came out this weekend. Maggie, it's been too many years to count since Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out. How big of a fan of Indiana Jones are you?
Big fan.
Yeah.
Grew up watching the first 3 on VHS religiously as a child.
I get it, religiously, because the Ark of the Covenant, and the Jesus Cup,
the Holy Grail. Do you call it the Jesus Cup? What kind of cup did you think it was?
I thought it was the one that protects your balls.
No. Why would Indy drink out that?
You chose poorly.
You don't put it on your lips.
I don't think that's where that goes, Rick Moranis.
Yeah. I don't think that's where it goes.
Turns out Indiana Jones 3 was actually Little Giants prequel. Who would have thought? So you liked Indiana Jones?
Yes. Loved it. Still do.
I grew up enjoying Indiana Jones. I was an Indiana Jones fan. Hated Temple of Doom forever. Still do. And then also, I did like Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I liked Last Crusade. I think Last Crusade for the longest time was my favorite. And I think it's just because it was the more modern one.
Yeah.
You know, and it always reminded me of like Back to the Future Part 3.
Yeah.
So like there was that kind of piece of it. I don't know why. I guess because it's like Old West stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, that is Roger. You know, I was trying to think. I was like, somebody watched Temple of Doom at my house.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I remember that. I was like, was Jerry in it there? I couldn't remember. Yeah. I love me some Temple of Doom.
And then I remember, obviously, Crystal Skull came out.
Yeah. Oh, I remember being psyched about that one.
And how did you feel about Crystal Skull as you watched it? After you watched it, like how did you feel?
Remember, being excited before watching it because I got the magazine.
Oh yeah, with David Beckham.
Yeah, but I'm like, I liked reading all the stories that like Harrison Ford had, and of course Shia LaBeouf was in it. And I was
the boof.
Yeah. I was like, I mean, I really don't care about him. I only care about him. So that's the reason.
At the time, I liked Shia LaBeouf at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, Transformers.
I mean, I wasn't like
even
crazy
Stevens,
about him.
Disturbia, Surf's Up. He was that penguin.
Didn't watch any of that, so.
Well, no wonder his career died. All right, Maggie. So how'd
anyways, oh, watch it. I mean, I liked it.
How did you feel about the aliens? How did that feel?
I don't know. It's still. I remember back then I was like, "Oh my god, it's aliens! This is so cool!"
What?
Yeah, and like, look back at it now. I'm just like, why did they do that? Why did that thing become a UFO?
Yeah, I remember really liking it in theaters and watching it and being like, "Oh my god, it's the thing!
Yeah,
it's Indiana Jones again!" And like, this was before like us getting just bombarded with nostalgia, right? Like, I mean, every other movie now has somebody from a movie from fucking 30 years ago or something. Like, oh my god, it's a callback, right? Like, nostalgia is all there is now. And so like I hadn't got jaded to that just yet, because it hadn't happened too many times, and so it almost hit me the same way that like Superman Returns hit me, where like in the theater I'm like, this is really great. I really love this is just like the
a week later.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about, I'm like, oh yeah, like they did give him a son, and he was able to fly a mountain of kryptonite out into space. like that's his one weakness.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. About Superman Returns.
And like they use paddles to bring him back to life. Like, You know, it's just the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, Indiana Jones, the Crystal Skull was like, kind of started hitting me that way, where I was like, you know, I don't know if the swinging from the vines was that great.
No.
And I don't know if I really enjoyed, like, that it was aliens.
Every time they show, like, that alien at the end that like, looks at, is it Kate Blanchett?
Yeah, unfortunately.
They'll look at her like this.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
don't they like melt her face or something?
oh yeah,
she's
they
like,
make her, yeah. She's like, give me all the knowledge.
You want to hear the
and
fucked
her
up?
eyes like,
You want to hear the fucked up part?
what?
So I don't know when this happens in the movie, but they explain that it's aliens.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Like right in the middle, maybe at the end of the second act.
Yeah.
I went to go pee, and so I came back and missed all of that.
Oh my god.
And so I sit down and I'm like, I look at Billy and I'm like, hey, what'd I miss? And he goes,
aliens.
He went, you missed everything. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, it's aliens.
It's aliens,
the Crystal Skull is an alien. And I was like, no, really, like, what I missed? He was like,
they're aliens.
it's aliens. They said they put a bag over his head and made him feel around Area 51 and all this stuff, and like, it's aliens. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, so, you know. Yeah, so that's what happened to me. So,
yeah. Well, it's really funny. We've been watching like all these YouTube channels break down Indiana Jones.
New Rockstars.
Yeah,
well,
Mr. Sunday at the movies.
Yeah, Mr. Sunday movies, and not New Rockstars, but it's Eric Voss's Deep Dive.
Deep Dive.
Yeah, Deep Dive.
And they said that like Steven Spielberg, well, George Lucas really wanted to do Indiana Jones with aliens, and Steven Spielberg's like, I've done enough with aliens.
He's like, God damn it, aliens.
I don't want to do an alien movie. And George Lucas is like, yeah, we should do one.
No, Stephen, we should do aliens.
Like
Stephen.
all the titles were really, really
terrible,
stupid,
dumb.
Yeah,
dumb.
Because they was trying to avoid the word alien altogether.
Yeah, and then they ended up being interdimensional beings, and it's like, it's just fucking aliens, guys. Just own it at this point.
The third guy that was involved, I can't remember his name, but he
Judd Apatow.
Remember, he wanted to call it Indiana Jones and Indiana Jones Jr. or something like that.
Yeah,
something like that. Indiana Jones and Indiana Jones' son. That's what it was.
Son of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, the son. Yeah,
something like that.
I was like, just do Indiana Jones and son. That makes a little bit more sense. But okay, make it long.
And so I guess I'm just moving on because we've talked a lot about the movie, or not.
Yeah,
the movie we're talking about. Yeah, and so like it's been. What, 20 years, maybe 15 years? I think it was 2008, so 15 years since Crystal Skull, which I believe it's at least equal amount of time that Crystal Skull had from The Last Crusade, or more, or just a little less. I don't know the actual breakdown of time there. So. But I mean, it's, you know, it's a lot. It's almost like how Scream 3 to Scream 4 was like that amount of time, and then Scream 4 to Scream 5 was like the same amount of time, and it felt like way more, you know? And so I feel like with this movie, they were trying to take their time and decide, what the hell do we want to do?
What's the best decision?
Yeah. Like they had talked about doing a complete reboot at one point. I mean, a lot of people's names have been thrown around. You know, Chris Pratt was one of them, and then I think that's actually why he ended up doing Jurassic World. Yeah, it's because everybody's like, he'd be great Indiana Jones. Yeah, and because he played Star-Lord, which is basically Han Solo. Yeah, and so they're like, and then they talked about doing like a spin-off, like a female Indiana Jones, or like an Indiana Jones reboot with a female actress or actor as the titular character. And so finally we ended up here, and we got James Mangold, who did Logan and the Wolverine, and is doing Swamp Thing, I believe. Yes, he is. So we got him, and Steven Spielberg is producer. Harrison Ford's back, and this movie I feel like is much more not spoilery. Okay. I would say it's much more down to earth. Pun not intended on the alien talk, right? Yeah. But it's much more of a character movie
Yes.
character focused movie on Indiana Jones.
Yes.
You know, like I feel like it's still got that classic Indiana Jones, romping adventure.
Yeah.
You know, especially the prelogue, epilogue. No, it's the opening of it. Like the whole opening of the movie, like the first 10, 15 minutes is like its own standalone Indiana Jones adventure, which is really good. Some of the CG, not amazing, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about the spoilers.
But you know, it felt like classic Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
honestly, like I think that's the best praise I can give it. Is it felt exactly like Indiana Jones felt in my memories. You know, and then once we actually dive into the present day of Indiana Jones, obviously still like the 60s. Mm-hmm. You know, we start seeing kind of the toll that time has taken on Indy, and like the world is kind of starting to move on from people like Indy, and like there's this whole kind of background story of like the space race and all of that, and it's very much like literally this man obsessed, or not even obsessed, but you know, an archaeologist studying the past, you know, like his love is of the past, right?
Yeah, and
like everyone is only looking to the future now, you know, and like him coming to grips with that.
Yeah.
And like the world is literally leaving him behind, you know, because we've moved into this new era. And I think that just that is the backdrop, and then everything that he deals with throughout the movie. I think it's a great like character study. Like I really do. I think that they get to the heart of Indiana Jones, I think probably more than any of them, except maybe
Raiders.
Well, I was gonna say The Last Crusade. I feel like the stuff with his dad.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. You're fine. It's easy to get those confused. But I feel like this, from an emotional standpoint, is probably the closest to that. I would put it on that level.
Yeah.
As far as like the Dial of Destiny, I'm not gonna get into spoilers, but that whole thing is don't laugh.
I can't help it.
It's I don't know. We'll talk more about it in spoilers, but that's the only piece of the movie that I'm like, I don't know
how to feel.
Yes, I'm just conflicted within myself.
Yeah,
because like I have a thought, but then I have an argument against that thought, and then I have an argument against my argument, and all that's internal, you know. And so it's just still trying to come to grips with that of like, how do I feel about that? You know. So anyway, that's my top level stuff. Maggie, how did you feel about it?
Sorry.
You're fine.
My face is itchy. I really enjoyed it. It really, you know, shows old man Jones.
Yeah.
I really
Junior.
Let's see. I'm trying to think without giving anything away.
Mm-hmm.
I love Phoebe Waller
Bridges,
Fleabag.
Yeah. Phoebe,
Phoebe. I really liked her as this character because she kind of reminds me of Miriam in some way.
Yeah.
She's a little bit more worried about money though.
Yes. She's a fun addition to the cast for sure.
I just like the fact she just pissed off Andy every chance she got.
Yeah,
that's why I like. And he just got so mad.
Yeah, and that's what he needed for sure. Yes. You know, someone to help keep him, to give him that fire.
Fire, yeah,
you know?
yeah. Because he's done. Yeah. You know,
I'm retired. Callista, where my fucking pants?
Where's my white shirt and blue jeans? And Mads Mikkelsen, I really liked his performance.
He did great, honestly. He did really, really good.
He did really good.
Probably the best antagonist we've had.
Yes.
Like there's more to him.
Oh yeah, there's a whole
than like any of the others.
Yeah.
Because the others are just one note villains. Yeah. I feel like this one
had that there's history.
There's some thought to it.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. And I'm trying to think of anything else.
How'd you feel about like just the action and stuff? Like him being old man Indiana Jones. Like, did it feel weird?
it kind of made me sad in some parts,
Yeah.
especially like I know this was in the trailer, so I can say it.
Yeah.
When he cracks the whip at the table, like used to, people be like, "Oh my god!" No, everybody pulls out a freaking gun.
Yeah,
and he realized, oh yeah, everybody's got guns now.
Yeah,
it's not like what it used to be,
Yeah.
I don't know, just seeing it for his age, Harrison Ford. I will say kudos to him.
Yeah, he's 80.
He looks good.
He's 80. Yeah,
he looks good.
Great. Honestly, he looks fantastic.
Yeah, he looks really good.
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked. I was like, way to go, man.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously we've talked the past few weeks about his like press tour and the things he's been talking about, but there's been like a lot of really good like moments of like sincerity from him, and like seeing him look back at his career as a whole, and so I mean, if this was, I don't think this is his final movie, period, but like this is a great way to showcase why we loved Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Like it's not even just that it's Indiana Jones, but it's like it's Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
And he's great at it. He's funny.
Yeah,
he's sharp as a tack throughout the whole thing,
Yeah, there's never a moment that he was like out of character.
Yeah. And it never felt like he was winking to the camera. Like he was the same Indy that he had been.
Yeah.
It, honestly, in its own way, it felt like Logan.
Yeah,
like,
I can see that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, obviously it's not, Logan is much different tonally and stuff, but like, whereas that was the perfect way to send off Wolverine, this is kind of the perfect way to send off Indiana Jones. Like, it really helps kind of say, here's the last story of Indiana Jones, And again, we're not getting into spoilers with any of that. So, I did ask our audience earlier today, I said, how would you rate Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny?
Oh, no.
20% gave it 5 stars.
Okay.
11% gave it 4 stars.
Okay.
39% gave it 3 stars. 9% gave it 2 stars.
Okay.
And 21% gave it 1 star. Yeah. So, 39%.
Don't you even know who Harrison Ford is?
The majority gave it 39%. And the next lowest was 20%, the next lowest was 1 star, 21%, and then 5 stars at 20%. So very kind of across the board.
I think it all boils down to is, did you grow up with it? Did you get to embrace it?
Yeah. Like if you're coming into this late, like if you didn't grow up watching Indiana Jones, if you've never seen Indiana Jones, and like especially if this is your first one, I mean I don't think it's gonna hit for you.
And also like some of the things that Indy says, and some of the things that that you see throughout the movie, like callbacks to other movies and stuff. Like if you don't have that, I think, you're going to be lost. You're not going to be like, oh, look, this movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a throwback to classic, I guess like classic serials like it's always been, but even just an older way of making movies, And like if you weren't into those, then you're probably not going to be into this. Like it does a well enough job of like, who is Indiana Jones? What is his motivation? What's going on now, like explaining everything, like getting you on track. Like I definitely think you could watch this as the first one and be fine, in the same way that you could watch Logan and be fine. It's not going to mean as much, but like you could watch it theoretically.
Yes.
But it's like Tombstone. Like if you didn't like Westerns, you probably weren't going to like Tombstone, but if you loved Westerns, then you're going to fucking love Tombstone because it's a modern Western, But Westerns aren't like all that big anymore. No. And these kind of action adventure movies aren't really that big anymore. Like, and these like classical fist fight, family appropriate, like that stuff just doesn't really happen anymore. And so I think that's just, in a way, the Indiana Jones franchise is kind of living out the same story that Indiana Jones is in this movie, where time has just kind of moved on from needing that, and like I disagree too. Like I think we could use much more movies like this. I think that it's honestly, I really love this movie. Like it's a really great movie. I really loved
it too.
It made me tear up a lot, especially near the end. It
made me cry quite a few times.
It's got a very strong emotional core to it that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that they do in this that could have just been an easy throwaway dialogue that didn't have to matter ends up just being like really used to service the character, and it's just it's wonderful. Like honestly, I think they completely nailed this even more than the original creators did in Crystal Skull, like way more.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
which I think didn't George Lucas and Steven Spielberg kind of help?
Oh yeah, I mean they served as executive producers.
Help out.
And I'm sure James Mangold like really wanted to do it for them. Like like hey,
give me
is this
some
okay?
pointers. Harrison, how would you say this?
But it was good.
Yes,
I thought they did a great job. Anything else you'd like to say?
Nope.
I would say go watch it. I think we kind of covered that already. If you're a fan of Indiana Jones, definitely go watch this. Try and go see it in theaters. I think it's a great theater movie. But obviously, if you wait till Disney Plus or something, I mean, that's totally fun too.
Yeah.
I mean, don't do it just for Disney. Disney has enough damn money. It doesn't matter.
Don't do, yeah.
But if you're not a fan of Indiana Jones, like if you've watched the Indiana Jones movies and you don't like them, then this probably won't change your mind.
Don't seek it out.
And if you've never watched any of them, but you're a fan of like the Logan style stuff, or even like Unforgiven would be another movie that's kind of similar, then give it a shot.
Yeah.
There are worse ways to waste $10, like a Twitter Blue subscription. All right, let's talk about some spoilers. Spoiler. I can't believe Mutt was dead the whole time.
He really was.
He actually was.
They
fucking fringed Mutt.
That was the time Matt stepped out.
Ah, damn it! I did.
He stepped out to go use the bathroom, and at this point in the movie,
damn you, bladder! You fooled me once again.
Indy has been framed for murder because of the Nazis, and of course Nazis, and he's all over the news. His picture's all over the news, and the news reporter says Dr. Jones has recently lost his son and is going through a divorce.
Yeah, which we see
we see the separation agreement. Yeah.
After the prologue.
Yeah. And like, I was like, oh crap, they killed off Shia LaBeouf's character.
I was surprised.
So Matt comes back. He's like, okay, what did I miss? I said, well, they framed Indy for murder.
Yeah.
And I said, and the news reporter said that his son is dead. You're like, what? I was like, they killed, you said Mutt? I said, yeah.
They fridged Mutt.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And honestly, I mean, if we're going to write out the character, like that could have just been an easy, they could have done something super easy, right? Been like, he's out living his own life or whatever the fuck, right? But the fact that they turned that into the emotional core of this movie,
the reason why him and Miriam are going through.
The reason why Indy is feeling everything that he's feeling, you know? Like, I mean, think about it. He's dealing with the world moving on.
Yeah.
He's retiring, right? Which means he's losing the one thing that he's been doing his whole life, which is teaching.
Passionate about
it. He's lost Marion. He's lost Mutt. So, like, he has no legacy. Like, there's not going to be anything to do that. And then the rest of the world is looking
just
up to the stars, instead of sniffing in the dirt.
Well, like he said, he's like, a visit to the moon's like a visit to Reno.
Yeah, that was great.
I was like, I love that so much.
And, of course, all the Nazi stuff, which I love that they were like, somebody tweeted out today and I retweeted. They said, I love that anytime Indiana Jones says Nazis, you can just tell how stupid he thinks all Nazis are.
Yes,
He's like, and good, because all Nazis are stupid.
That's
right.
right.
He's always like, there's fucking Nazis. You can just feel it.
Nazis.
It's like,
it's always. Oh wait, no, that's snakes.
It's like snakes. The same way he always Harrison Ford like talks to nerds about like Star Wars. I feel like that's the way Indiana Jones talks about Nazis.
Yeah.
I really thought it was interesting that they decided to include not just Nazis, but like Nazi sympathizers.
Yeah.
They're basically just white supremacists. Like they're Nazis too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of think that they could have like walked into that a little bit more, maybe dealt with that a little more. But I mean, they didn't not include it, so I mean that was good. All of that aside, I think we can't go any longer without talking about the third act. Okay.
All right. Dial of Destiny, y'all. Okay, this is all about Archimedes, which is a mathematician.
Rumbaldi.
God, no, Matt. Don't make it into Alias.
It's just Alias.
Don't. Anyways.
Rambaldi. That's his name.
Archimedes apparently made this Dial of Destiny, and it was broken to two halves.
We don't have to explain all
that. But
that.
Anyways, they put it together, and guess what, Matt? Explain away.
So this dial, he's used mathematics to figure out, hey, if you go to certain coordinates at certain times, it basically opens a time rift.
Yeah, fissures in time.
Yeah, and you can time travel. Okay, and so this Nazi's like, I'm gonna go back to 1939, and I'm gonna save the war.
I'm gonna kill the Fuhrer.
I'm gonna kill Hitler,
and I'm gonna do everything that he did wrong right.
Yeah, and so we're kind of led to believe that's what we're gonna see.
Yeah,
and like the opening of the movie is gonna become the end of the movie.
Yeah,
and like. Maybe Back to the Future 2 it a little bit, where we see how Indy was actually helping, like young Indy or whatever. But then they don't do that. They don't do that at all.
They don't do that. Okay, so good setup. They have this big old warplane they get on.
Yeah, yeah.
And they have full-fledged World War II Nazi uniforms on.
Yeah, they all just walk out in full Nazi uniforms. Like, holy shit. And then they go to the coordinates, and there's a rift, and they go through, and
they're like, we did it. We're in 1939, we did it. And then you start looking, I'm like, if this is Italy, there shouldn't be red sails on them boats.
Yeah. And so it's like, what, the fall of Rome or something like that? I forget what they said. But it's some fucking war from like BC. Yeah. And like... it's at the time of Archimedes. Like that's when this is.
Yeah.
And like I'm so conflicted about this because like on the one side, side you have Indiana Jones getting to experience the thing that he's been trying to see his whole life, right? He's been looking through time his whole life. He's in love with history, and now he gets to be there and experience history, right? And like the whole thing of like the world is leaving him behind, so now he's gonna leave the world behind for what he loves, history, right?
Yeah.
And he's gonna actually get to experience the thing that he's loved forever. And like there's a piece of that, like that's in that line of thinking, that's beautiful, right? Like that is a good thought. And as far as like a character study.
No, you can't do that.
Well, I mean, we're all coming from the idea of like, hey, time travel, you can't fuck up the time stream. Like,
you can't help out Archimedes make a watch, bro.
Maybe he was always supposed to be there. It's the dial of destiny, not the dial of platitudes, Maggie.
That's what Archimedes says, Tim.
And so then, but the other part of me is like, but this is terrible. Like this is time travel. Like, it kind of felt like the Aliens again, where it's like, did they go too far? Like, that's what I was asking in my head, like while watching this. Like, I was like, I'm watching this and I'm enjoying this and I'm letting it happen, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get stuck in it, but in my brain, I'm like, are they jumping the shark right now? Because I mean, they're literally time traveling to BC, like, and that's a lot. Like that, let's not forget, okay? That is a lot for this franchise, okay? I know, and this is how I start making it feel better. Like, the Ark of the Covenant opened up, and like fucking God like melted Nazis' faces and stuff. That happened in this, right? People had their hearts ripped out, and like we're still alive, and there was voodoo and stuff, and like. That happened in this franchise, right? They found not eternal, but
a cup, a holy grail.
Well, but the knot, like he never died.
No.
Like You know, he's immortal. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
An immortal, not thousands of years old.
Because if he left the temple, he'd...
Yeah, and like his dad literally was saved by the water and stuff. And like, you know, so I mean, we have seen elements of the other side.
Yes.
You know, where things get wild, right?
Yeah.
Like that does happen. The
But
aliens
then we
was
saw
a
the
bit,
aliens, we're like,
we was like, maybe that's too far, you know? Like aliens felt too far. But then we get here and I don't know. I still don't know how I feel. Like
okay, this is how I feel. I don't... Jeriana's emojis are cracking me up. I don't feel like I do, thinking back about it, like Crystal Skull. Like, I actually... yeah, was it weird for Indiana Jones to go back in time? Yes. Yes, it was.
Yeah,
I will agree. Yes, it was. However, I think, you know, because he got shot. And, like, you know, I'm like, dang, man, if he dies right here, I mean...
He becomes history.
He at least he's, you know, there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And, like, and he got to
Maybe
meet...
he digs up his own bones.
And he got to meet Archimedes. And I thought that was pretty cool. Like, talking to him in Italian, you know?
Yeah.
And... I don't know. I'm like thinking, like, you know, anytime we meet, and I know he time traveled. I'm trying to keep that in mind, but like I'm thinking of like, you know, if you ever get to meet somebody you really admire and look up to, and you just, you know, you're like, can I just stay here with you?
Yeah.
You know, and Indy wanted to stay with him.
Yeah.
And like you could see it in his eyes. He wanted to stay with Archimedes.
Yeah.
And it looked like Archimedes was like, oh yeah, come on.
Archimedes was down, man. He's down the clown.
Oh yeah, he's like, tell me all the secrets of the future. And
tell me the lottery numbers.
And I like the fact he was so stubborn. He would not give in to the goddaughter.
Yeah.
And she's like, you can't stay here. You will mess up everything. You're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be here. And she just
cold cocks him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, I don't feel like it went like the aliens. Whenever I look back at the aliens, I just cringe. I don't cringe at this.
Well, not yet. I mean, I'm just saying, it's been 15 years we've been able to take in the aliens and like deal with it, right?
Yeah.
Like, and to your point, and I'm just playing devil's advocate right now.
It's okay.
To your point, I feel like the Archimedes stuff, him meeting his hero Archimedes, falls a little flat just because we've only heard about that in this movie.
Yeah, I know.
And like, I know that there wasn't like an overarching person, you know, except also, for God, maybe, you know,
always God.
But like, you know, there wasn't like an overarching story of like, you know, it wasn't like Rambaldi in Alias. There's not always been like this MacGuffin that carried from movie to movie. Yeah. So I get that they couldn't really do that. Mm-hmm. But like, I feel like if it was something that had just been set up prior, like it just would have paid off a little bit more. Yeah. You know, this just feels like, like this feels like anything.
Well, and also, you know? Too, what really bothered me was like, okay, if he really, I understand he's an archaeologist and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, of course, yes, you're going to, you know, look at these people that made up all these inventions back then. Yeah. Like, holy crap, man, they were like ahead of their time. They thought this through. That's
like Da Vinci.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Rambaldi.
Right, like Rambaldi.
And, oh God, I lost my thought.
He's archaeologist looking back at all these people.
Yeah, and like you feel like if he really did look up to Archimedes, he would know about the Dial of Destiny. Like her dad did.
I mean, I feel like they explained enough of that. Like,
yeah, I know, but I just find it funny that, you know, Indy gave him that piece, you know, wherever they got off the train. And he's like,
it belongs in a museum.
He's like, here, do whatever you want to with it. And then he has to go to his house to take it away from him because he became too obsessive over it. Yeah. And
well, I just assumed that his friend was just a super fan. Like, it'd be like if we went and met Shigeru Miyamoto. Like, if you got Shigeru Miyamoto's like autograph, you'd want to give it to me because you know how much more of a fan I am.
Yeah.
You know, And so like I feel
and
like
I understand he held on to it because
I do the same for David Beckham.
Thanks, Matt.
You're welcome.
Anyways, like he held on to it, yes, because it was his friends. Also, it was a piece of history.
Yeah.
But like he put it away in a drawer, hidden behind a bunch of arrowheads.
Yeah. Well, he kept it hidden.
He kept it hidden because he knew people were after it.
He didn't believe in like the power of
Yeah,
it.
no.
You know.
Kind of like he didn't believe in the power of Kalima.
Oh, jeez. It's so, you know, I think that's one of the aspects of it that maybe, I don't know, the whole movie, like the movie's great.
Yes.
Okay. And like, I feel like this third act almost happens because the third act has to happen and not necessarily paying off anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we have that great conversation of like, if you could change the past, what would you change? And he talks about telling his son not to enlist.
And she asked, you know, why did he do it? And he said, just to piss me off.
Yeah. And so like I, you know, we get that. And then we get to the past, and I'm not saying I'm glad he didn't actually change anything.
Yeah.
Like if he had actually like, you know, saved Mutt or like did anything like, you know, that fucked with Tom and stuff. Like I wouldn't have liked that. That would have been way too far.
No, that would have been too much also.
But what did he? I guess what my problem is, what did it give us?
Yeah.
What did this bring to the table?
Kill Mads Mikkelsen.
I mean, that couldn't have been accomplished any other way. Like, I guess that's what I'm... No, like, that's what I'm saying is, like, I'm trying to understand, like, from a movie that's very much focused on the character's journey, right? It's about Indy, you know, dealing with the world, leaving him behind. It's about Indy, you know, he's lost everything and trying to find peace, and he's not finding peace. Like... we get to the movie, like we get to the third act, and he's in the past and finds the things that he's been looking for his whole life, and then the choice gets taken away from him. And like, don't get me wrong, I completely understand where Phoebe's coming from. She did great. I love all that. I think it's great stuff. Mm-hmm. Not, you know, it's not about that. It's just from a writer standpoint of like Indy didn't choose to not stay. Like it got removed, right?
Yeah.
So, and then he wakes up and Marion's back and all that's great. You know, all that's wonderful. But like, what did he learn?
Yeah. Like,
we've set up this really deep, you know, thoughtful movie of exploring the psyche of this guy who just doesn't belong in his own time, you know? And like, when we get to the point where he gets to choose between, you know, the future or the past, then we just take the choice away. Yeah. You know, like, and it doesn't feel fulfilling, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like I would have liked to have like a catharsis of Indy, like realizing that his place is in the present, you know, and that maybe there's beauty to be had in the future.
Him having the realization.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like he never really, like, short of being with Phoebe, and we see his growth over the course of the whole movie. Oh, yeah. So I'm not saying it's not earned by the end of it, but like it just would have felt more complete if he had a reason to continue.
Yeah.
And like where it leaves us, you know, he reconnects with Marion, which is great, but I feel like he's not really learned anything that's really going to keep him from feeling, you know, like there's no hope in the future. Yeah. You know, like he still feels like a man out of time.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, that just, to me, that's the part that I think bugs me the most is like, just in and of itself, time travel, I'm not against it. I like time travel movies. I love time travel and a bunch of shit. And in Indiana Jones, I'm not like super against it. You know, as long as the payoff is worth it.
Yeah.
I think Crystal Skull falls flat because the payoff means nothing.
Yeah.
It's just spectacle, right? Yeah. Them seeing the big spaceship and the alien, it does nothing for the movie, right? But, you know, Raiders of the Lost Ark, it means something, right? Like he learns to respect the things that he doesn't believe in.
Yeah.
You know, like he he believes, right?
Yes.
Literally, his eyes are open because his eyes are closed.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Don't look at it. Close your eyes.
And like he reaches that connection with his father and lets go of the past and rejoins with his father.
Yeah.
You know, when his father calls him by the name he wants to be called, right? And so like that works.
Yeah.
Right. And so I feel like with this, like it's driving to that, and it has the best chance to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just kind of drops it a little.
Okay.
You know? And like, I don't know. Maybe I'll see it again and think different. Like, well, no, this is actually what he learned through this. And like, you know, but I don't know. Just for a man that was always like the center character of the franchise, for him to not make his final choice of what to do with his life just feels wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree with you there. But like how wherever he told his goddaughter, you know, if you could go back in time, what would you do? He would say, you know, make sure he didn't enlist, and that way her and I wouldn't lose a son, and she couldn't get over losing him, and I couldn't take care of her.
Yeah.
And I mean, he started to lose everything, you know, like you said at the beginning, like he's retiring, he's not going to be doing the thing that he's like the most passionate about.
The world is literally moving on from him.
And Miriam's wanting to move on away from him. And I know we don't get that. Oh, what's the word?
Catharsis.
Not catharsis.
Payoff.
Which is probably catharsis.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of easy word.
You're fine.
We don't get to see the payoff, or I don't know if there's something that they, you know, filmed and they decided to cut it. But, and yes, she took away his choice, but I think that needed to happen. He needed to realize that he can't stay in the past.
Yeah.
That if he could keep moving forward, you don't have to be at the same place with everybody else, but if you can just inch by inch try to get there,
there's a reason for tomorrow.
Yeah. And whenever Miriam shows up to, you know, she's like, you didn't have any food.
Yeah.
How can you, you know, live like this?
Well, and I mean, obviously the antagonist and protagonist in this, like, you know, the Nazi and Indiana Jones, Mads Mikkelsen, whatever the hell you want to call him. They're running parallel storylines. They're both just two men who cannot let go of the past. No. Right? Like literally, they can't let go of the past. And to the point that, you know, the Mads Mikkelsen's character, like, it destroys him. Right?
Yeah.
And so, like, we have to see that hero's path, you know, pay off.
Yeah.
Where, you know, if he goes the way of changing the past, you know, that ultimately destroys Mads Mikkelsen, right? The bad guy.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't do the thing that he should do.
Yeah.
Which is let the past be the past and move on, right? But because he can't accept what happened, that's how he loses his life, right? That's how he loses everything.
Yeah.
And so Indiana Jones is on that same trajectory. And then the fulfillment of that in a story would be for him to choose, in spite of wanting that, to make the hero's choice to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that's why it's just a little flat, because he didn't, you know. And I don't know what that story should have been. Like, I don't know, like, you know, it would have to be a reason for him to choose to go back to the present.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a lot of things will do, like, you know, if somebody dies and, you know, they could, like Casper, you know, like, I mean, this is, I'm trying to think of something that's not a spoiler for a movie recently, and there's a lot of movies that have done this.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, in Casper, somebody, her dad dies, and, like, Casper could choose to still be a real boy again. Yeah. But instead lets her dad come back, right? He makes the hero's choice, right? And so, like, I feel like Indy needed to make that choice. Like, in spite of being where he wanted to be, he chooses the greater good. And, like, again, he doesn't. and like it almost feels like like he's almost mad when he wakes up that she stole that from him, you know?
Yeah. He's
until
like,
he finds Marion and finds peace and stuff, and that's great.
Yeah, that's great. But I think we needed that payoff.
Yeah. Even if it had been Archimedes saying something like,
see, that's what
I would give anything to see what you've seen, you know, the future, like speaking so highly of like the future, right? And whereas like Indy has been obsessed with the past, and maybe Archimedes could be like, you know, the past is dead, but the future is living forever or something. You know what I mean? Like it never ends, right?
Yeah.
The everlasting promise of the future, you know, something like that, right?
Yeah.
And like maybe that's how Indy understands why he needs to go back, right? And finds peace with his struggle against Tom.
Yeah. I was
but
waiting.
We don't get any of that.
Yeah. I mean, like at that one point, like whenever it's Phoebe and Archimedes and Indy.
Yeah.
And Indy's like, I want to stay, you know, and Archimedes is just like looking at him like, you know,
yeah, just stay, like, spaceman.
No, bro, you're the person's making that thing.
Yeah.
Do you not understand what you're doing? And also that the fact that I think we heard this right, that no matter what you set that dial to, that you go back.
Yeah, that was confusing. Like I don't think it was necessary, and we may have just misunderstood it. But and like it seems like, and let us know in chat if you've watched this. Let us know. But it sounds like later they're talking to Archimedes, and he's like, "You are always going to end up here."
Yeah.
Like there's that, but then Indy says something to the effect of, no matter when they would have, like whatever time bubble they would have went through or whatever, that all paths led to this time, not to the time of. Yeah, whatever matched or whatever
you wanted.
Yeah. But again, maybe he meant it in like a Destiny way.
Yeah,
you know, like we were always going to meet because Destiny had fated it to happen.
I really liked whenever, you know, Mads Mikkelsen, he set the dial, and they're taking that big old warplane into, and they're getting closer and closer to that little time bubble, and he goes, "Continental drift," and Mads Mikkelsen turns around. Archimedes didn't know about continental drift.
Yeah.
This is wrong. You're probably going somewhere way off.
Yeah. But it won't be 1939.
Yeah. Which Indy was right. It wasn't 1939. So.
It was weird, man.
Yeah.
Like I liked it.
Wild ride.
I liked it. Again, I love the movie a lot. And like when him and Marion got back together at the end, and like they held each other.
Yeah.
And like you could feel. Yeah. Like you could feel the heartbreak between them, and like them reconciling with each other. Like that was beautiful. That made me cry. Right. Like they had sold that emotional aspect of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so I felt that. You know. So I mean, like it's just that one piece. I don't think it's necessarily us talking this through has helped me realize like what my problem is. It's not the time travel per se. It's that it didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, it was almost just a flash in the pan spectacle as opposed to mattering.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like in Temple of Doom, you know, he like, and I know Eric Voss talks about too, because I really liked how he explained it, because I just enjoyed watching the movies growing up.
Yeah.
But like how in Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade, you know, he, you know, understood to believe.
Yeah.
And then in Temple of Doom, he had those stones and he didn't think they did anything.
Yeah.
And then whenever he realized, oh yeah, they do, they can help protect me, you know, he says that prayer. And I don't know where I'm going with that. I don't know. It's
that
just
it paid
like
off.
It paid off. Yes.
Yeah.
It mattered. Crystal Skull.
It didn't really matter. Like not really.
John Hurt talking like a crazy man. Didn't really matter.
Like there's 1,000 ways that could have ended. Like
yes.
Like Raiders of the Lost Ark had to end that way.
Yes.
For the movie to end the way it does. Like for it to make sense, right?
Yes.
For the story to have paid off.
Yes.
Last Crusade had to end that way. I can't really speak to Temple of Doom because I don't remember it that well. But like you had to have his choice of letting go of the Holy Grail because his father, his life, you know, that catharsis between them mattered more, and his dad being obsessed with it and telling Indy to let it go. Like
that was big.
That's how it had to happen. You know, you can't set up his need for the Holy Grail without him giving up that need for the Holy Grail for making that hero's choice, right? Yeah. So same basic thing. What a movie. It was a very interesting conversation. Yep.
One more bone to pick with this movie. How dare they kill my precious boy Antonio Banderas?
Oh yeah.
I was so excited to see him once I realized it's like, oh my God, yeah, that's right. They casted him in this. Yeah. I love this so much. He's taking them diving. I love this. Yeah. I love this so much. He's best friends with Indiana Jones. And then they shoot him.
Yeah.
And I was just like, really? I really wanted him to be.
It was very quick. It was very quick. I think
that made me so sad.
That felt not stunt casting, but just casting someone well known to kill him off, you know. And I did think Phoebe did fantastic. Honestly. Oh yeah. Like I would watch another movie with Phoebe.
And that the boy.
Oh yeah, I can't think of his name. Yeah.
He was really good.
He was awesome. He did really great.
Good. Short round energy all around. Yeah. Loved it.
And I liked that her primary focus was not about history and not about power, but just about money, you know?
Yeah, but
we hadn't really experienced that. But
she also was looking out for him.
Well, that little boy. But I mean, like, just comparative to like the antagonists we've had in the past, of like they're all looking to gain power, or money, or not money, but history preservation or whatever. Yeah. Right? Like this was just, I want to have money, you know, and like we needed that. We needed it. I thought it was good, and I would definitely watch another movie with her. I thought she did a fantastic job. Fun. Anything else you'd like to say about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny?
Nope.
All right. Well, let's get out of spoilers. Spoilers are over. All right, everybody. Welcome back. If you skip spoiler section, we are now going to add Indiana Jones to our ranking for 2023, summer 2023 so far. Currently, our ranking is as follows. At number 7, Fast X. At number 6, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. At number 5, Succession. At number 4, Rise of the Beasts, Transformers. Maximize. Number 3, The Little Mermaid. At number 2, Across the Spider-Verse. And at number 1, probably pissing off a lot of people, The Flash. Maggie, where are you feeling?
Oh, man.
I have a thought of where I'm thinking.
Either
I'll turn it like this, but I want to hear your thoughts, and tell me your real thought. Don't tell me where you think I'm gonna put it.
No, I am thinking for myself.
Okay, that's what I want.
Oh, Rise of the Beast. I was like, what is the
what's
acronym?
Rob?
What is Bob? I'm thinking. Man, dang it. We don't need to include TV shows anymore.
Succession is throwing things off a little bit.
Because Succession was so good. I liked it better than Rise of the Beast.
Okay.
The only little speed bump I'm hitting is The Little Mermaid. Because I really liked it too.
I can see that.
I don't know. I'm trying to work through it in my brain.
You want to know where I'm at?
Where are you at?
I was thinking below Across the Spider-Verse, above Little Mermaid. Only because I too enjoyed Little Mermaid. I didn't grow up loving Little Mermaid like you did. So I mean, obviously there's that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I feel like just from a writer standpoint, not that I'm a writer, I don't mean it like that. Like from the written page standpoint, the character study aspect of it, the depth that they provide to all the characters and stuff, the heartbreak, the emotional, struggle throughout the whole movie, pretty much doing great all the way up until the very, very last bit of it. I think it's much stronger than The Little Mermaid. And that would be the only reason I'd put it above The Little Mermaid. Because I feel like The Little Mermaid's great, but it is just a little, it's not surface level, but it doesn't, for a movie about the ocean, it's just not that deep. That's a joke. It was. I mean, it's good. Like, there's a lot of emotion there, but again, it doesn't necessarily dive too deep into like the psyche of all the characters and stuff.
Okay,
that
helps me. That helps me because like at first I was like, ooh, put it right below Across the Spider-Verse, and I'm like, Little Mermaid.
Now I did prefer the music in Little Mermaid to the music in Indiana Jones.
Hey, don't be dissing John Williams.
What? John Williams is great, but I mean, nothing can compete with the Scuttlebutt, Maggie.
Oh my God! No, when humans like press their beaks together, or
you throw Lin-Manuel Miranda in anything, I'm there. You know, anything.
I agree. It should be the new number 3.
New number 3. So shall it be? I'm shocked.
And this is our list. Of course, everybody's going to have opinions of their own. We are not film critics at all.
Yeah, that's not what this is about.
This is about having fun. We love watching movies.
We're just shitting around with the boys.
I don't shit around with the boys. That's gross. Anyways.
But yeah, it's not supposed to be like an official ranking of the quality of anything. This is literally just what we enjoyed the most over the summer. That's all this is. I mean, no one could argue that the Flash the Transformers Rise of the Beast
is better than
Succession. I don't think anyone's going to make that argument. But as far as like for us enjoyment in that time, we put it above Succession, you know, and we put Guardians 3 below all of those. So, I mean, you know, when we rewatch Guardians 3, maybe we'll feel different.
I highly doubt it.
I bet we will.
You think so?
I think we will. I really do. I'm really hoping when we rewatch Indiana Jones that I have a better understanding of what they were going for.
Yeah. I kind of hope they say, "Hey, we cut out a scene," you know.
Well, so
oh no,
I can't really talk about it, but there was an original scripted ending that was different. Like the things where they go, they didn't go there.
Oh, okay.
They ended up in a different location.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one a bit more obvious. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
I think you can kind of figure out what I'm talking about. So I mean, but then they decided to do what they did. Anywho, that's it. That's our whole episode. We'll be back next week with Joyride. Our conversation about that. Remember, if you'd like to, you can follow us over at Twitter while it's still alive. Please,
Bird's still tweeting.
Please give us a Blue Sky code, please. I have nothing to offer. I really want to get off this.
You give him a Blue Sky code, we'll put you in the credits for like a month.
Follow us on Hive. No, we're not going to do that. I mean, nothing against them, but like that, we have our patrons. You know, they paid for that. You know, so I'm not just going to give that shit out. You know,
how about we put your name like itty bitty up?
How about we just shout them out? Like these folks right here, our patrons over at patreon.com/hopefullyawesome. They're awesome. For $5, you get your name in every video we make, and you get exclusive content not found anywhere else, like our monthly movie commentary. Last month's was, because it's now July, but last month's was Tiny Toon Adventures, how I spent my summer vacation. You can listen to that right now, as well as many, like 13 others that we've done. There's a lot. And we're getting ready to do Independence Day for this month, so look forward to that. But that is going to wrap it up for us, everyone. We hope you all enjoyed this week's episode of the Hopefully Awesome Show. We'll be back tomorrow with Going Back to Smallville, where it's Pete joins the Fast and the Furious. This is great. And then on Wednesday, back right here at 9 o'clock, we're going to be talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Back in time. Turtles in time.
That's not the surname.
Oh, it's just Turtles 3?
Yep. There's a whole thing about it. And people got it confused, and then they did start retroactively adding it, but that's the thing. It was terrible. So come hang out with us while we talk about it, because it's
highly
awful.
Disappointed.
Oh my god, I'm
terrible. Shocked it didn't kill the franchise.
It did, though.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, think about it. No other movies came out until 2007.
Oh yeah, TMNT.
Yeah. But that's going to wrap it up for us, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and as always,
have a hopefully awesome day.
Bye.